Hello, Chaos Chat, and welcome to your deck review. For those of you joining us for the first time on YouTube, this is a series where I, Maultown, a notorious commander, hater, and douche, will calmly and lovingly review your commander deck's weird little peep. Your PP being your premise and your practicum. Your premise is the idea behind your deck, it's what you hope the deck does. Your practicum is what it actually does, is all the stuff that goes wrong in a game, and what I'm here to help with. So, first, we're going to talk about the premise and whether or not it's appropriate at the power level this person wants to play at. And then after that, we'll dig into the deck itself. Now, for this one, this is a refilm. I botched the previous recording and didn't notice until like 15 minutes in. So we're going to speed run a little bit because I have drawn all of my conclusions already. And I have even have a different version of the deck. I changed a bunch of stuff in. So this person's idea, they want a Choco deck. Who cares about attacking with birds? It will get you lands on the field, it will get you cards on your hand. It's very, very powerful, but we don't want it to be a bird deck. We want it to be a Chocobo deck. And we have been through many different iterations trying to make it feel like a Chocobo deck. And it's just feeling a bit weak, feeling a bit slow. How do we make it faster? How do we make it better? And the first conclusion I want to talk about is you can't really with these guys because these are is basically like every useful chocobo we've had printed, and you just don't have enough yet. You're running into the same problem that people who really like the Mothman precon and the Fallout commander decks liked with or had with rad counters, where it's like, oh man, how can I do more rad stuff? How can I get more rad support? You can't. We probably will when they go back to it, but like, I don't know, wait a few years. And I think that is the position you are in, where for like a fully satisfying, oh, my 99 is full of all these different chocobos and different chocobo synergies. Isn't that cool? Bird, 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 bird. Wait 4 years until they go back to the plane of Final Fantasy. But there is an angle to make this happen. Because the other thing I wanted to talk about is like a lot of the stuff we're trying to do to make it matter. I don't I think steals the show from Chocobos as is. Like if you're like, this is my Chocobo deck. By the way, nesting Dovehawk, I'm like, all right, bro, what are you talking about? You show me a Kodama of the East Tree Infinite, you're like, it's a Chocobo deck. All right, okay, okay. I'll untap Gaia's Cradle infinite times. I'll float infinite green, but I'll put it through something that makes Chocobos. My fault. My fault. I didn't understand your game. And that is genuinely, that's not me like judging you person to person. That is just a risk you are facing with the current build of the deck. Is the things we are trying to do to make it powerful enough to keep up. I think 100% draw energy away from the Chocobos. And the angle I could come up with for how do we make this deck work better and how do we make it return energy to the Chocobos is clones. Legend rule breaking clones, which which Blue is supremely, supremely good at. So a bunch of downright stupid shit, but once you can get two or more Chocos on the field, they will all see each other swing. You'll start getting like, oh man, I get 3 triggers for 2, I get 4 triggers for 4, and that will get you so much mana and so many cards that you can then play your supporting cast and you can play your backup pieces. I can't believe I didn't cut Mystic for more. I should have. And it will require more fiddling than this version that I presented before you, mostly to make sure we get the ramp right. But the goal would then be to go, how can I get oh my god. Give me a legal target. How can I get my commander down? And this one's rough because we hit one of the more expensive copiers. Uh we could double ramp here though. Swing Choco, get 1 trigger for 1. Hey, you're gonna go to the field tapped. And now if we untap, we have 8 mana. Honestly, at this point, we could just Buster Sword Choco, which is pretty fun. Not gonna hit though. We get 1 more trigger for 1. Or well, maybe we do hit. Maybe we lay this down and then we swords to plowshares before the blocking step, and then maybe we do get a swing through. And then the best curve outs for this new version of the deck is I can play ramp on turn one or turn two, which gets me to Choco on turn three, and then I can play a clone of Choco on turn four. And anytime you can do that, start to make a little money. You start to be relevant like every single time. And it also gives you an ability to dig through your deck so much faster that I think you can cut a lot of your tutors, because a lot of your tutors are like, okay, I'm going to burn a turn to try to find something that will give me a chocobo that I can care about. Versus like having all these clones, you always have another chocobo that you care about, and the chocobo that you care about is going to draw you into more chocobos, and then you can have the deck have more fun stuff. You can have the deck have more like you can have more pet cards, you can have more overrun cards to actually close a game out. And so the other cards that I would consider cutting, because at the time I was doing this as quickly as possible, um, I would consider cutting Derevi. He's incredibly good. He is the perfect card for any Bant deck that has birds, or even creatures that swing. Um, and he's in my girlfriend's Choco deck. But every time Derevi comes down, like the entire threat profile of that game is warped around Derevi. And so if your dissatisfaction is coming from the deck not feeling Chocobo based enough, this is like the least Chocobo based bird you could ever make. Ever, ever, ever in your whole life. Ever, ever, ever. And so I would consider chucking him out, even though I think Derevi might be a she, even though she is objectively crazy strong. From your existing ramp packages, the existing ramp package, the thing I would take issue with is Case of the Locked Hothouse and Regalia. Now, Regalia, I can understand keeping around as a pet card. It is a Final Fantasy card. It is very fun. It's very funny to hit people with a beamer, but it doesn't get us to quick Choco. And what we really, really want is I want to play Choco a turn ahead of curve, and then I want to clone him. And neither Regalia nor Case of the Locked Hothouse help us do that. I'm even kind of ambivalent on Cultivate and Kodama's Reach because on 11 pieces of ramp, most of our games, we are going to have one piece of ramp in the opening hand. If the only piece of ramp in the opening hand is Cultivate or Kodama's Reach, we are also giving up on a turn three Choco. And that's really what we're playing for. We're playing to have like two lands in our opening hand, a ramp spell, and then pray to God we draw the last land, or get three lands in the opening hand and draw a ramp spell. Um, so after you make these one-to-one swaps, I think the other thing you could consider is more interaction. We're really, really light on interaction. A thing that I have seen other Choco decks do well, a thing that my girlfriend's Choco deck does very, very well, is because they dig so deep, they always have an answer. Like maybe it's it could be the Flare cards, Flare of Fortitude and Flare of Denial have caught me lacking many a time. It could be like Fierce Guardianship if you want to run Game Changers. It could be just cheap interaction like Swords to Plowshares. There's also Erode now. There's also Path to Exile. But you want to make sure, because you are going to combat so often, sometimes your swings are not going to be advantageous. You either need protection or you need a way to get a blocker gone to make sure you can keep swinging Choco. Or you can just go the route of like, okay, well, all my interaction is going to be super over the top. I'll run stuff like Fell the Mighty. Because Chocobos have these transient power buffs, which means you can Fell the Mighty in main phase one and say, three. Anything bigger than three, die. And then you go to combat, flip a bunch of lands out from your three copies of Choco, and now all your remaining Chocobos are so much bigger than everything that lived. Um, and you hopefully, have trample because you hit Fat Chocobo, all that other fun stuff. But that is the direction I would be going in to try to make this feel a little bit more. Oh, I would also definitely cut. Oh, that's because I'm playing your current version. No wonder. I was like, where I cut these? Yeah, this is not me playtesting the clone version. Um, Still don't like this. Still don't like this. Don't love that. Love everything else about the hand. Oh, I don't have green. I think I can't remember if it's in this video or in the one where the recording got botched, but I would also be cutting one more basic of each color to go up on more two color lands. ETB tapped is killing me, but whatever. Soul Ring, Nature's Lore. We're just whatever. We fetch something that's mana. So now turn 3 Choco. Amaze, amaze, amaze. So it's I get to do side quest, raise a chocobo. I get to do Geisol greens versus I have a second Choco. And I get two Choco triggers for one. I get another clone spell, and I get our sweet, sweet boy, the traveling Chocobo. Oh, and I can still cast Geisol greens. Amazing. So I'm still gonna get a Chocobo. And then this cares about first main phase. So now I'm gonna go Arenicus's Vile Duplication. I have my third Choco. I swing these two. I'm going to get three, or I'll swing this guy too. I'm gonna get three triggers for three on turn 5. I'll put Kodama of the East Tree into my hand. Where's my that is my mana for the thing that I cast. I will put Ambrosia Whiteheart, another Chocobo, into my hand. Or I could put the Buster Sword in. Both awesome. I will get a bounce land out. Put this in. Now my hand is full. My hand is full of Chocobos that I want to cast. I have two parts of my 3-card infinite combo, and I have Brawn in the graveyard to provide trample. And one of my Chocobos is protective interaction. Like, this to me is the dream. Because every creature on my board is a Chocobo. Every trigger that is happening is my commanders, or like is a Chocobo trigger. Like, I'm stacking up. I think I got 3 lands came in. So all these guys grow big too. And then my next turn, like, it's not going to be playing. I wouldn't even be playing. Let's pretend I am not constrained by maximum hand size. I wouldn't even be doing like Kodama, the East Tree, Exalted Sunborn. I would just be like, I'm slamming more Chocobos, baby. Like, I would just slam Traveling Chocobo and Choco Mog, and I'm going to Mog them. Like, I have so much mana now, and I'm gonna get so many, like, this is provided no interaction happens, but to some degree, right, we have to investigate. We should see what Christmas Land looks like. We're gonna get so many of these, and now they're gonna be double triggering because we have Traveling Chocobo. Like, this is bird heaven. This is bird heaven, and it is your table's hell. And I think it creates the space for you to turn these more generic cards into like interaction, because when it comes to generic things that detract from a deck's theme, it's oftentimes like it is less detracting from the deck if it is a, oh well, this is a one-time use counter spell to protect my theme, versus a thing that goes outside the theme because it's such a strong proactive play, if that makes sense. So these could be protective interaction, they could be board wipes that care about creature type, they could be the power-based board wipe to make way for your birds to overrun everybody. Yeah, flat out. Um, this is the bones of the strategy you should do if you want the deck to be about Chocobos. I understand it still may not be ultimately satisfying because clones is like, we're subverting the idea a little bit. I'm not giving you, 15 different unique cards that all do a different thing that makes Chocobos shine. But boy, howdy, are these Chocobos shiny when you get 4 of them. So if there's anybody in the comments who has a different idea, please let me know. But I have a lot of faith in this version of the deck. I do think it will achieve the endpoints that you want to achieve. And I do think it can keep up in bracket 3, especially when you begin bringing in interaction. So I wish you the best, and I do hope this helps.